Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Business Recovery Planning. My name is Zoe Beaver and I will be your moderator today. Joanna's passionate about businesses surviving through 2020 and beyond. She has a wealth of knowledge in hospitality and finance operational experience. She is super keen to share with you today. Welcome, Joanna.
Thanks, Zoe, and thank you all for attending. Sunday, the 22nd of March 2020 changed my life. I'm sure many of you can relate, as you said about salvaging your business, strategically managing your cash flow and valuable staff. Thank goodness ScoMo realized Job Seeker would not cut it and JobKeeper was announced. We are all in this together, and I want to acknowledge you for your leadership over the last few months, for embracing the unease and still showing up. These have been tough times, and I personally do not feel that they are over yet. My fear is that the JobKeeper has made us a little lazy. So I truly acknowledge you for setting this time aside to attend this session where you will walk away with tools and clarity for your continued business recovery plan. We have a lot to cover in the next 75 minutes as per the agenda, and I definitely want to leave time at the end for questions. I encourage you to take notes and submit questions via the question panel. You can download the workbook in the handouts pane if you haven't already. And can I ask you a favor, please? On exiting the webinar, please answer our exit survey as you exit. Thank you very much. Before we get stuck in, I just want to throw in the usual disclaimer that we are all so famous for in our industry. We are not insolvency specialists here. There are very strict rules and regulations around solvency, some of which have been amended to account for the impact of COVID-19. However, if your business is unable to continue to trade as a result of solvency or bank finance issues, we can, of course, refer you to suitably qualified specialists. Before I get started, I just want to share some thoughts about how we can stay better connected at this time. I'm not talking about how we can be better connected with technology, with things like these webinars and our online meetings, though these are important. I'm coming from the perspective of how we can work together more effectively now and in the future, where your expertise can be combined with ours to create outcomes that wouldn't be possible by working alone. In our view, it has never been more important to create and connect with a team of people who can help you at this time. People like bankers, your legal and HR advisors, your accountants and bookkeepers, so that together you can come up with a far better plan. At Brew Accounting, our core purpose is profit for good. I've always said hospitality general managers and staff are our local community psychologists. They listen and connect our communities. Never before has this role been more important for the well-being and mental health of our society. Hence, we are running this webinar to ensure that hospitality venues survive, thrive, and profit for good. This should just be the beginning of how we can work even better together. While we have a special focus during this webinar on hospitality venues, any business will be able to apply all of what we are sharing to their business recovery plan. So take lots of notes, don't be shy about asking questions, and let's get into it. During these times of adversity, we are often forced to think outside the square, to reinvent the way we work or behave. We see four main opportunities for you to reinvent your business. The first opportunity is to innovate. The Oxford Dictionary defines innovation as the introduction of new things, ideas, or ways of doing something. In this sense, innovation is doing something completely different. An example for you might be introducing a new product line or service. A thought: as we rethink the work environment, there may be an opportunity for you to introduce a corporate concierge, which provides a high-end shared workspace and provides business owners with like-minded high-end networks. You can package it up with reception staff, client hospitality, corporate and private entertaining, and access to a suite of first-class business facilities. While working from home has its perks, truth be told, I think we are all missing the face-to-face human interactions of our old workspaces. City Tats is an example of a hospitality venue that has developed a wonderful corporate concierge service. The second way to reinvent is to re-engineer. The Cambridge Dictionary defines re-engineering as to change and improve the design of a product or system. In other words, use what you've already got to produce something completely different. One example of re-engineering is Australian beer companies looking at what their plant can make and moving from producing beer to creating their own hand sanitizer. Another example of re-engineering is the 12-month Barbados welcome stamp. Being from the Caribbean, I am fascinated by this innovative idea coming out of Barbados. Totally reliant on tourism, they are promoting, if you can work remotely, why stay where you are? Visitors can come and work remotely from the island for 12 months. The third way to reinvent your business is to adapt or change the way you deliver products or services. Remember the biological definition of adaptation, which is the process by which a species becomes fitted to its environment. In other words, if we take the new normal or new environment that we find ourselves in, how can we change to suit that environment better? Work from home appears to be the new normal. Despite easing of restrictions, in recent weeks there have been little change to employees' work from home behavior. A positive for the stay-at-home economy, cloud, home improvement, online, retail, telecommunications, staples. With international borders closed, domestic travel is a new exotic destination. A great example is a local venue developing their new unique offering, be it reliving nostalgic moments like school reunions or international themes, example, Italian nights for the families that were planning an Italian holiday this year. This will encourage Australians to spend a good portion of the $64.2 billion that they normally spend on overseas trips each year at home. Partnering with Airbnb hosts or other trusted local tourist service providers in your area may be a good opportunity. So we know we can reinvent in 4 ways: innovation, re-engineering, adaptation, and now number 4, to widen your lane. What we mean by widening your lane is to broaden your product or service offering. For example, the cafe who broadens their offering from purely cabinet food and coffee to include new ready-made meals, boxed sweet treats, or selling wholesale ingredients, and even ingredient bundles with recipes for making their signature treats. So with these 4 ideas in mind, innovation, re-engineering, adaptation, or broadening your offering, what can you do in your business? This is what business recovery planning is all about. There's a natural order in which to reinvent your business. With business recovery planning, we ask you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Remember that the business is there to serve you, not the other way around. You should not be a slave to your business. So step 1 is to put your shareholder or owner hat on and define what you need to get from your business. Can you make savings in your personal spending to reduce the cash flow strain on the business? No doubt you have made savings during lockdown. Can these savings continue? Updating your personal budget is best done using a template so that you don't miss any expenses. An easy way to do it is to simply look at your bank statements online to see what you typically spend in a month. Of course, you need to be realistic too, as lockdown was very different, as spending opportunities were very limited. So make sure you go back 3 to 4 months to review your expenses. Once you've done your personal budget, you can build up your revised business budget. Many of you may have already done a business budget for the year. This is likely to change significantly now. We recommend what we call a bottom-up process, where you start with the increase in cash you want to achieve for the year. It's important to start here, as many businesses have found that they didn't have a sufficient war chest of cash going into the lockdown. This is not designed to be technical accountants here. We just want to show you how you can take control back by going through a high-level step-by-step process here. It's always a good idea to build a cash reserve, an easy accessible emergency fund, a war chest. We have always recommended growing your war chest so that your business can comfortably stay afloat for 3 months. So you will know what your number is for your business and how near or far you are of producing that war chest dollar value. Based on that and using the bottom-up approach, here are a few things to consider. So looking at other cash movements, you may be able to free up cash by reducing debtors, stock, or work in progress levels, or by negotiating better terms with suppliers. Then think about loan principal. You need to allow for the principal repayments on existing and any new finance. Regarding asset purchases and sales, there may be new assets you need or obsolete ones to sell. Then drawings, here's where you add in your personal budget from the previous slide. Net profit after tax. So adding or subtracting these items gives you the targeted profit after tax you need. Then add in what your tax will be to get your required profit before tax. Then have a careful look at your overheads to see if savings can be made. Now you'll have your gross profit needed. Using your desired gross profit percentage, you can derive the sales level required to give you what you need from the business. Then it's all about reviewing these numbers and margins to ensure you can come up with a workable revised budget. Ideally, from here, you'll then complete a more detailed forecast on a month-by-month basis, so you have a basis from which to track your progress. And this is where you have real-time digital reports of your numbers is so important. For example, if you identified your sales total for the year needed to be, say, 1.5 million, that equates to, say, 30K per week. If your business is open 52 weeks per year, you'll want to have a system for recording how you're going against that target. Likewise, if you have cost of goods sold of 30% and your cost of goods sold are currently coming in at 40% on average, you'll want to measure if that number is improving. We strongly recommend you measure no more than 5 of your most important numbers. We call these KPIs or key performance indicators. Some examples are daily or weekly sales, gross profit by product or service, stock days, wastage, or increase or decrease in cash for the month. Once you have the KPIs and the budget, it's important to have these numbers loaded into your monthly reporting system so you can track your actual result to your budget. We can help you with the most appropriate technology to use for your business. Once you know at a high level what your budget is, it's time to look at the opportunities that exist to achieve that budget. Again, we recommend focusing on no more than 5 key opportunities. Think of the ideas we talked about earlier to reinvent your business. Opportunities could also be things like working in more of an online way with your team or customers. You may no longer need the same premises, or you may need to redefine the roles in your business. There may be new lines of revenue to pursue or other businesses to acquire. Other opportunities might be around the adoption of technology or systems to improve your efficiency or online communication. Taking the time to brainstorm all opportunities to improve your business is a very valuable and empowering exercise. You need to leave no stone unturned here. Of course, the flip side of opportunity is your vulnerabilities. What are the 5 biggest vulnerabilities in your business right now? They could be things like poor cash flow, a sustained downturn in demand for current products or services, poor profit margin management, or banking covenants not being met. Naming the vulnerabilities enables you to make a plan to overcome them. Name so you can tame is a great mindset to have. You need to be brutally honest with your assessment of vulnerabilities. A rosy plan for your finances is not going to pass muster in these difficult times. Once you have identified your 5 biggest opportunities and 5 vulnerabilities, you need to identify your 2 to 3 most critical challenges. These might be things like deciding whether or not to sell or liquidate part of the business, or establishing an online sales platform, or securing sufficient finance to trade through the next 3 months. We strongly recommend that you do a careful analysis of all risks in your business. The best way to do this is to complete a risk register, which assesses the likelihood of each risk and then the consequences for your business if that risk is not mitigated. Risks fall into the following 10 categories. Governance. Governance risks include poor planning, lack of up-to-date policy, poor discipline around working on the business. Leadership risks around communication, reporting, and team morale. Product and service risks around lack of adaptation or innovation. Operational risks around suppliers and supply chain, contracts, and key customers. Marketing risks include poor return on investment or overspending or lack of digital presence. Sales risks, where we have the need to adapt to e-commerce or online selling, risks around poor training or overselling in these difficult times. Finance risk may undercapitalization, lack of sufficient cash flow, poor financing, structure or poor credit control, debtor management, poor reporting, lack of forecasting. HR risk, where you have overspending, poorly managed restructuring or grievances. The admin risks around lack of automation and technology, where you have poor adaptation of software or apps. Once you've identified the risks, you need to pull everything together into a cohesive plan with goals, actions, and responsibilities. Your business recovery plan is much more detailed than your business plan in that you get right down into the detail for each department of the business. Goals need to be SMART and all actions need to be assigned to someone responsible. These goals and actions should be updated regularly through some form of regular review process. At this time, we'd recommend a monthly review for at least 6 months and then a change to quarterly after that. Let's take a closer look at how to pull all of this together now as a complete package. Depending on your circumstances, your package should include your personal budget, your risk register, your business recovery plan, your business forecast, an updated organization chart if you have a team of people, and if applying for finance, a finance application. You may not need to do all of this work at the same time. For example, you may have sufficient cash flow now, so you don't need to apply for finance. Likewise, if you don't have a team, you may not need an updated organizational chart. What is important is that you establish what is right for you, what combination of these you need, and who will do them. So this is how the plan comes together. The executive summary, which is actually the last step of the plan, summarizes your biggest risks and opportunities, sets clear goals and actions, and consolidates what needs to be done into a concise summary. This is where the personal budget, finance needed, and business budget that we discussed earlier in the webinar is updated. Here you summarize your 5 key KPIs and opportunities, plus your vulnerabilities and most critical challenges. This exercise ensures you establish a plan that maximizes opportunities and addresses the most critical challenges. Then it's about breaking the whole of business plan into a departmental plan. The first step is to identify the key risk and mitigation strategy for each department. Then you identify 12-month and 90-day goals for each of these mitigation strategies by department. This ensures you maximize efficiency and outcomes and prioritize key goals and opportunities to maximize your recovery. Finally, you set timeframes and accountability for achieving these goals, and this is where the magic happens. This gives your business the best chance of recovery and develops a framework from which to monitor and measure your business recovery. I trust I haven't overwhelmed you with too much technical detail here. My goal has been to share with you what business recovery planning is all about and how to do it. So what are your next steps from here? Doing nothing is not an option. We are entering into a period of business as not normal. Doing what you have always done is unlikely to give you the same results as you've had in the past. Remember to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. The more sustainable you can make your business right now, the better for everyone. Make a plan to get through these challenging times. Focus on what you can do as opposed to worrying about what might happen in the future. We are here for you and want to help. Our recommended strategy is to complete a business recovery plan. We've been receiving great feedback about how helpful this process is. So if you haven't yet done your business recovery plan, now is the time to do this, as it will form a great foundation from which to build your cash flow improvement strategy. It will also help with loan applications. Options to complete the plan are: meet with us online so we can do this together, either as one session of up to 4 hours or 2 2-hour sessions. We'll send you in-depth pre-work to complete so you have time to consider the impact COVID-19 has had on each department of your business. We'll use your completed pre-work to guide us through the plan and set goals for each department. This ensures you have a detailed and well thought out plan to give your business the best chance of recovery. The second option is to meet with us online for the business recovery planning session. Then we'll work with you to prepare an updated cash flow forecast and finance application. The third option is a complimentary business recovery review. We'll send you a business recovery action list to complete, which is a condensed version of the plan. This option suits those of you who may have a small business that doesn't require a comprehensive business recovery plan, Once you've completed the action plan, we'll schedule a 15-minute call to review your plan and next steps. The risk with this approach is that with everything else going on right now, you may not get around to doing the work. If you're unsure of the best way forward, or you want to talk to us about how we can work together, we recommend a complimentary meeting to discuss your goals, current problems, and challenges. We can then agree the best way we can support you. All right, over to you, Zoe, for question time.
Awesome. We do have some questions here, but I will just remind everyone, if you do need to leave the webinar, please complete our exit survey upon leaving. If you do have any questions, pop them in the questions pane now, and I'll make sure to get Joanna to answer them. And Joanna, I'll just get you to pop on your webcam.
Hello,
There
everyone.
she is. Perfect. All right. So, first question. I love the idea of a business recovery plan, but I'm flat out with work right now. How do I free up capacity to do this work?
Yeah, great question. We often refer to the achiever matrix, which has 4 quadrants. Starting with what is not urgent and not important, this we call the quadrant of waste. And I give an example here of checking Facebook 60 times per day, something that sometimes I get guilty of. And then, taking a look for what you can delegate to outsource, delegate or outsource. So things like getting a VA to update your social media for you. And then being disciplined about putting time into what's important but not urgent, as this will save time in the future. I appreciate it's really hard to do this when you have urgent and important work to deal with at the moment. That's why we really want to help you and have created resources to get you started.
Okay, awesome. Let me just say another question here. I'm concerned I can't afford to do this work. What can you suggest?
Yeah, that's a great question. At the moment, there's quite a few options here. There's one option of Service New South Wales has a $3,000 recovery grant that's available, and we can help you to get that grant if that's something that you'd be eligible for. We also have lots of different payment options available, and we're happy to spread the cost if that's an option that, or we can build the cost of the fee into the finance application that we're putting together for you. So between government funded grants and the tax savings from this being a business expense, I'm really confident that the return on your business will outweigh the investment with us.
Okay, awesome. I think that's all the questions now, unless anyone wants to pop one in quickly. No, that looks like it. Thank you, Joanna.
So there you go. So we've managed to finish very much before time. Yeah, that's great. We're here for you. So if you would like at the end, please answer the exit survey. It'll give you an opportunity to request the free the free information that we can provide you to do it yourself, or to use our services that moving forward to do the business recovery planning with us. Thank you so much for attending. We're so happy that you were able to come, that we appreciate the time. It's very valuable right now. We hope that you've given you plenty of ideas to think about and some clear options of how you can support you. Before we go, I thought I'd share this quote with you. Nothing is so contagious as enthusiasm. Make a simple plan today. Commit to at least 3 actions you will take as a result of being here today. Write them down, give each of them an owner and a completion date. This is a worrying time for many businesses, but you don't need to worry alone. There's a ton of support out there and more to come, and we are here to support you. Thank you very much.